Nissan Arena, and this is what's on offer here tonight. It is the Queensland Cup to be awarded the winner of the derby between the Queensland Firebirds and the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Kira Tromp is joining me in commentary. Sharon Finn and White on the sidelines for us, and there is so much emotion out on court already, and the fans know it. They have packed into Nissan Arena. Have a look at all the faces. Well, it's a little dark at the moment, we can assure you. There's plenty of noise and plenty of excitement in this stadium ahead of this very important round 2 clash. Teams just getting into their final huddles at the moment. And these are the magic moments, aren't they, Kira? The captain's no doubt taking the lead. What do you think a lot of the chat will be around right now?
I thought it was really interesting, Kath, to see the Queensland Firebirds come together arm in arm. It was like a real emotional moment, a connection. We heard Lara talk about unity. That means a lot to get over the line today.
Well, let's have a little reminder of the way they'll line up with the Woolworths team cards. Here's the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And no shocks, it is the same 7 that absolutely demolished the Giants last week. It was a 16-goal win. What a way to kick off their season.
Queensland Firebirds also going to start the way that they were last week. We see Danelle Wallum take the court. She is now the most experienced goal shooter in the Firebirds team in her 2nd season, supported by Mia Stour, who gets the start again at goal attack. Lara Dunkley, we're not any closer to knowing how she or why she was benched last weekend, are we? But she starts at wing attack. Captain Courageous, Kim Ravalian takes the centre court position. And again, I think defender in Gabby Simpson, Ruby Bakewell-Doran and Remy Carmo are such a strong unit that are just building week on, week out. And I think tonight is a great test for them to step up and go against these diamond shooters.
It's one of the best tests they're going to get, isn't it, coming up against this combo? And we spoke about them in the pre-game, how deadly they can be. We saw a touch of that last week for sure. There's little Chloe bringing the ball out. Some magical moments for some of the junior players already tonight. And we are underway here, the Battle of the Bruce. Laura Sheridan, you're going to see her do a lot of that tonight. The quick 1-2, plenty of speed to burn. Steph Wood, well, she's backed herself in, and that is a sign of things to come with her, isn't it?
Absolutely. She looked straight to the post, didn't even look like a shooter there, Kat.
You know you're in trouble when Steph Wood turns and shoots and gets it into Haney. Well, she was the woman of the round last week, her best ever performance, and she's bringing that intensity again early. Have a look at the tip, and it's up over Danelle Wallum. That's no easy feat. Firebirds did regather, though, so it's 1 apiece early. Steph Wood, well, there's that shooter to shooter. They certainly do look for each other quite naturally, don't they, Conan and Wood? Stour just waiting for someone to pass to, wanting to centre it up. Well, Ravalian almost having the same issue. Smart work then, working it a little bit shorter before they let that long one go.
Much better there by Stour. She looked in, and that's the thing, getting her head and hips around, and she saw that Danelle was in a good position and put a good feed in there.
Conan outside the circle. No stranger to being outside the circle, though. Interesting to note, looking at the stats, Cara Conan is in the top 20 for 2nd phase received. So she comes out of the circle a lot to take the pressure off that centre pass.
Absolutely, and it creates all that play down court for the Lightning. She opens up the space for Steph to be able to enter into the circle, and it's one part of their game that I think the Firebirds can really drill down on.
Well, they've got to keep her out of the circle, right? Once she's out there, she's going out that freely. Let's keep her out there.
Makes total sense to me. Block her out. Beautiful drive down court there by Gabby Simpson.
And we mentioned the importance of that mid-court and that experience. And Gabby Simpson, she'll do that all night if you let her. Big rebound from Wallum. Well, level peggings here. Just cannot get away from each other early in this game.
Really patient in their build-up here, Kath, the Lightning. It's one part of their game that I've really noticed has changed this year. They're really happy to work it around and get it to circle edge before they go to post.
Well, it's impossible to defend, isn't it? You saw the end result there. When it gets that close to Cara Conan, and one-on-one she can't be beaten. And it's about not turning the ball over, isn't it? We talked about possession, and Dehaney again. Well, surely that... Oh, Denelle Wallen, anything you can do, I can do better.
That's 2 get-out-of-jail cards there for get-out-of-jail card free for the Firebirds. They've had 2 tips from Dehaney that haven't been followed up by the Lightning.
Well, it's a very good point you make, so keep an eye on the Queensland Firebirds attack line now. Surely they're not silly enough to throw another long ball over Dehaney. Needs another pass in the interim. Have a look at Steph Wood. Well, Carmo down the other end wants to get a piece of the action as well. Held up momentarily here until Cara Conan gets herself through one of the smallest gaps on the court.
She was 2-on-1 there, Kath, as we see it go over the tip from Carmo. Just fantastic elevation there.
Fans obstruction, centre!
Well, that's one of the misfeeds and the Lightning have pounced on and they want to score off it. We mentioned how good their conversions rates were in round 1. That'll be something they'll desperately want to continue. And Steph Wood, no stranger from that range.
Just no options there on the centre pass, Kath, for the Firebirds. Kim Rebellion was looking around and the tip came off there. She was trying to pass it and Ruby Bakewell-Doran there fixes up that mistake and takes an intercept. As a defender, what you need to do. If you make a mistake and lose the ball, the very next one you should try and get it back.
Well, that was much smarter work too. They kept that one short. It doesn't need to be, well, a little miss from Wallen, right underneath the post too. Don't often see that happen, but they have managed to keep possession here, the Firebirds.
Stour puts the ball up over the top, just outside the arms of Katie Dehaney, and a lovely finish there from Janelle Wallen.
Let's get down to Sharon Finn and see something you like in Cassidy.
Yeah, Kath, just watching Cassidy on Dunkley, she's really shutting down that first and second phase in defence, and Dunkley's really struggling to get any momentum down court. So just keep your eye on Cassidy and Dunkley. There's going to be a really great tussle.
There's so many good battles to keep your eye on, and you can definitely sense that one happening. We've seen how slow it's been. Offensive contact against Denelle Wallen, so she's not having the greatest start here, round 2.
One thing that's been really nice about Mahalia's start too is that she's done it all without seeing the umpire. She's only got 1 penalty against her, which for a wing defence at this part of the game is really a great way to start. You don't want to have too many calls in the first 5 minutes of a quarter.
Yeah, you don't want a red flashing light on your head early, do you?
Absolutely
not. Under the radar. Well, the Sunshine Coast Lightning take it out by 2. Centre pass to follow as well, so they can make that 3. And there it is, the magic of the Australian Diamonds attack line. Cara Conan and Steph Wood.
Firebirds just caught chasing there in defence. They just followed their players into the circle and a bit too easy there.
Vantage contact,
Yeah, again, you can see the Firebirds now very, very distinct effort to shorten it up, to slow it down, to be a little bit more measured, and they score from it.
As we see again, Cara Conan coming out of the circle. She loves to get that long ball.
Yeah, look, too easy, isn't it, at this point? Really nicely covered on the first phase, and the problem with someone like Cara Conan, she can burn you either way. She'll take that front one or she'll do the drop back.
Absolutely. For Carmo, this is going to be a big step for her to be able to block out Cara Conan and make sure that she's still involved in the game. You don't want to be used as a decoy. You want to be involved.
Well, Denelle Wallen gets it back to 2. Wood.
Just that release there, you know, Ruby Bakewell-Doran's doing a great job of covering Steph for 2 seconds, but as we know, Steph Wood loves to pop out on the 3rd second and just receive that ball.
Like she just did then, right on cue. And likewise, Cara Conan, so their timing has been pretty perfect so far in this opening quarter. Oh, the challenge coming from Pretorius, but this is glorious Pretorius, I should say, shouldn't I? I have stolen that officially from you, but this is a great opportunity for the Queensland Firebirds. Pretorius is a long way from home now. It's a 2-on-1 in the circle.
Absolutely. You want to send it, you want to get it there quick before she makes her way back into the circle. A pretty quiet start from Carla so far, but I feel like she's going to build into this game.
That was a great little 1-2 up the Firebirds end between Wallen and Stour. So Wallen getting herself on the assist sheet. Miller Conan.
Caught behind there, Carmo, but you know what? That's not the worst place. That's the worst place that you could get the ball go over your head to the baseline.
Steph Wood and Cara Conan, well, creating all the magic, aren't they? And there is the proof. It's the missing net points, and they're sitting pretty at the top. Have a look down the bottom, though. 3 Queensland Firebirds, and it doesn't actually feel like that at this point in the game, does it?
Right, so we saw a turnover there, and the Lightning stole that goal, so this could be a 2-goal turnaround there to the Lightning. They've had a strong start, but it feels like the Firebirds, you know, have that ability. They're just not able to finish off when they get that good turnover.
Yeah, great setup from Cara Conan. Little roll off to find the body of Bakewell Doran, and then she had herself open beautifully.
She's been loving that pocket, Laura Sherian. I think she's fed the last 4 from there. An adjustment maybe from Kim Ravallion to push her more middle. Lovely take from Janelle on the finish there.
Miller, again, that long ball to Cara Conan.
At what point, Kath, would you say to Kim, maybe drop back and fill that space? You know, if I was Carmo, I'd be calling my centre back into that space.
Well, if you even just looked at the stats prior to the game, it was the first thing I noticed when I saw them, because it's amazing how many second phase receives Conan takes.
And if we look comparatively to the Firebirds, their second phase receive is going back to their centre, Kim Ravallion. So she's used on every second pass, as we see her there again.
Have a look at those shooting stats, though. No wrong happening up the end for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, sitting at 100%. Quite often you see that more balanced. At the moment, though, it is all Cara Conan. Down the other end. Well, Wallam, another little miss under the post. So now sitting at 6 from 7.
A lot of open space there for the Firebirds at the top of the circle. Lovely feeding position as it goes in there to Cara Conan, right under the post.
Sharon Finnan, what have you made of the defensive duo for the Queensland Firebirds?
Yeah, Kath, like, obviously a bit of a slow start. The ball is coming in quick and fast into Wood and Conan. I'd just really love to see them step up into the space and block their drive. I mean, when the shooter comes out, we want to, as you said earlier, we want to keep them out. So just step up into the space and really work that ground and make it hard for them to get back in.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a no-brainer, doesn't it? We know it is far harder than what we're making it out to be, of course. It takes a lot of work ethic to be able to play that sort of game for 60 minutes.
And the other thing too, you can't ball watch. You've got to concentrate on your player, and you have to really be sort of giving up the opportunity of taking intercepts because you're just denying your player the ball. And
it's a sacrificial defence almost, isn't it?
Correct.
Take yourself out of the play. Oh, just like that, the Sunshine Coast Lightning have got themselves out by 6.
You get the feeling that Rebecca Bully is looking for her charges to pull themselves through here. She hasn't called a time. We saw her call times quite quickly last weekend to adjust the momentum. Will we see another one?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Do you let them try and work it out themselves, save those timeouts for when... Oh, well, there you go.
The question's been answered, Kat.
Your crystal ball has been polished, and we're now heading to our first HCF tactical timeout. The way of the Queensland Firebirds. Let's get down and have a listen.
Can I just walk through there? I really want you to start in front. She takes a step back. As you go back, that's when she comes forward. Just keep that front position. You will be a bit off her. She's going to come out, okay? So stay in front. If you're a little bit off her, that's okay, but I want you to contest those front balls out. I think we're just retreating back a little bit far, so then when they cut back, we're not in a position to contest. So I want you to go for those ones, okay? You're doing a really good job of stopping that front side, so keep that up. Just keep those shoulders in, and when you get a hand in, pull it in with 2 hands, okay? Those swings into the pocket, you've got to keep finding it earlier. I reckon if you find the body and you go up, you'll get it. You just almost like you sort of stop, you like your side step, find her, and then go up, okay? That shooter to shooter is happening all the time. If you're going to double, they can't get it, alright?
Well, Kira, interesting to note, Rebecca Bully was a defender when she played. She spent a lot of time talking the defence end. Here's why the timeout was called 3 in a row for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, but a little catch of three earlier. But she wants this ball slowed down and she wants more contesting coming from them as well.
Definitely, she identified there with Remy Carmo. I want you to have a go at that ball outside the circle. Have a crack at it. Also, she wants to make sure that her players are in the contest, not 1 foot off and not being able to, as we see an ankle there. She's back up, Cassidy. She wants them to be able to have a crack at the ball. I think she feels like they're 1 or 2 steps off and not able to have a go at that ball going forward. Great touch there from Carmo.
Well, Rebellion comes up with the goods. They'll want to get a score here. Not forgetting we are in power 5 time. Have been for quite a while. Haven't. Doesn't look like the Firebirds want to go there yet, though. Happy to chip away, take the easy option with Danelle Wallum. Here is the tip from Carmo and the scraps to Kim Rebellion on the Harvey Norman replay.
As we see that arm go up in the air from Danelle Wallum, she wanted that ball and they put it in. They really do need to put up some super shots, though, don't they, Kath, to get in front of him?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because 4's not a massive gap, and I feel like if they just can score off their own, they can get themselves back in the game without the unnecessary pressure. It's a quick way to get yourself in the game if you're sinking them, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's that one thing. Do you go for that safe shot, have the one, or lose the momentum and give up those goals?
You can see Steph Wood just looking like she's got all the time in the world with the ball in her hand. And it's a win-win for a player like her. She can take that shot in super shot territory, or she can easily dish it off to Cara Conan.
Absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me if Steph would step back into being super shot territory. She's in that good a form.
Well, 5 the difference. Just over 2:20 to play in this opening quarter.
Really struggling here through this mid-court area. Time in possession, we see 41% to the Firebirds, which really marries up with the scoreboard at the moment. The Lightning are definitely winning that race. But Firebirds still working over this transition area. They're trying as they can to get to circle edge as we see it go into Danelle there.
Well, they made something out of nothing then, didn't they? Nearly lost it out of court for Stour. And they're keeping in touch now, the Queensland Firebirds, through another goal from Danelle Wallum.
Easy drive there from Miller, wasn't it?
No defence on Miller, and we just heard Beck Bully talking about being close enough to your player to be able to contest.
It's that ball side drive. So if you receive the ball and you are able to drive down court, Katie Dehaney causing a lot of trouble down there for the Firebirds again. They're able to get ball side easily, and that opens up that feeding position. So Gabby Simpson really needs to work hard to push her to the other side of the court.
Waiting for something to... Oh, footwork call coming. So at this moment in the game, it's a bit of a coach killer, isn't it? Particularly if the Sunshine Coast Lightning can get it down and score off it.
Well, if last week's anything to go by, Kath, they work the ball down so well on a gain or a turnover ball. Great touch from Gabby Simpson. Followed up by her teammates, which is always so good as a defender when you're the first one to pick up a loose ball. And
well, I was going to say, it's even better if you score off it.
That's it.
That's been the chink in the armour on this occasion. No, not necessarily. Well, Dunkley wanting a piece of the action as well.
It's a game of tennis at the minute.
How's the defence from both sides here? It is relentless.
Well, it is the derby. They're out there and they're putting everything on the line. Great hand in there by Danelle Wallum just to upset that ball there. Pick up by Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
Danelle Wallum backing herself for the super shot and rings out.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Well, still 5 the difference. Plenty of time here for the Sunshine Coast Lightning to score. Well, they've got some up their sleeve. That's how quickly they can do it. Cara Conan takes them to 20. Here's the Harvey Norman replay, and it's the work of Gabby Simpson. And then right back at you, Steph Wood. Well, who would have thought moments ago the Sunshine Coast Lightning had enough time for 2 extra goals, but they do exactly that. The Sunshine Coast Lightning leading 21-14.
Gabby.
And welcome back to the Origin Energy quarter time break. I have Kelly Ryan, CEO of Netball Australia, here with me today. Kelly, welcome to Brisbane. How are you enjoying the game?
I'm loving the game. Always going to be competitive when it's the local derby, and it's a great atmosphere. So well done to all the Firebirds and Lightning fans.
So some positive news for Netball Australia. You've had some new sponsors come on board this year. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, we've had a great run of sponsors coming on board, which really just shows the faith that people have in netball, the same way we have the faith in the sport. So Westfield, Guzman and Gomez, HCF, Flight Centre are all just a few of the new ones, and we look forward to making more announcements soon.
That's amazing for netball. And just finally, it's a busy schedule for you this year with the World Cup coming up. What are you most looking forward to this year?
Well, we are definitely looking forward to the World Cup, but before then, we have no doubt that Suncorp Super Netball will be the most competitive season that it has been again, and culminating in a grand final in Melbourne this year, which is something that I think everybody's got to look forward to.
Wonderful. Thanks for your time, Kelly.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you to Kelly Ryan and, of course, Sharon at Finn and White, and she's spot on. It is looking very positive for netball. Some great announcements out. Nice to hear her say plenty more to come. Keep an ear out. I'm excited about that, but let's get back into the action here. Of course, the battle of the Bruce, the Queensland derby, and at the moment it did all the Sunshine Coast Lightning up by 7. What can the Queensland Firebirds do in this second quarter?
Contact goalkeeper.
Oh, nothing if Pretorius has got her way. That was all going to be a Queensland Firebirds goal, wasn't it? Enter Carla Pretorius.
Is it safe to say glorious Pretorius in the Harvey Norman replay there, just getting up, contesting and then following it up with a beautiful pick up there. She got the call, but she worked hard to win the ball.
She didn't care she was sandwiched between two Firebirds in the process either. And a beautifully weighted ball coming from Miller into Conan. And at the moment, it doesn't even look like Cara Conan's got a sweat up. It's been pretty easy for her so far in this quarter. How do they shut it down though? We heard Beck Bully talking about contesting more and staying on the body. Is that really where it's all at?
Well, at the moment, they're just not missing. It's 100% for both shooters in the circle, so they really need to mix up that defensive pressure as we see Ash Uni make her debut for the Queensland Firebirds out here in goal defence. A change, obviously, from the bench that Rebecca Bully is wanting to make. So we will see a different style of player going against Steph Wood. Whether or not she can make that percentage drop down a little bit is what the Firebirds will be looking for. Another mistake there, just another coach killer. It looks like a contact call against Lara Dunkley and a turnover there to the Lightning.
Well, there's your penalties. Gosh, it's pretty heavy in the favour of the Queensland Firebirds. 18 already, and we're just over 1 quarter of play, so that's got to be an area of discussion. Well, this area is going to be discussed a lot too. It's going to be on plenty of highlights reels as well, isn't it? Here's the Harvey Norman replay, and it's a bit more magic from Steph Wood to her Diamonds teammate. We're held up momentarily here, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They've actually had to go a fair way back and a few double plays between Cassidy and Pretorius. And again,
Gabby Simpson just doing a great job there on Annie Miller, pushing her right up with a fantastic intercept from Ruby Bakewell-Doran. It was the work on the outside of the circle from the centre courts that pushed and forced that ball in, and that's what you get with that great hassle defence.
Yeah, it's about creating pressure early, isn't it? There it is on the Harvey Norman replay. Bakewell-Doran going to eat that one alive. If it's anywhere near her, well, Cassidy just trying to get into the action as well.
You weren't close enough to the line, on your way back.
Well, there is a call you don't really ever hear at this level of netball, is it? So on a throw-in, your foot doesn't have to be on the line, but it's got to be deemed close enough. And the umpire saying, no, too far away.
She addressed Lara there. She said, Lara, you weren't close enough. So that personable call, you know, has to hurt a little bit more when they use your name. But she was able to turn the ball over there for her team, but they could not finish it off again at the post.
Well, we mentioned, you know, the pressure and the weight of the world on the likes of a Danelle Wallen, and not having the best start to this game. She's sitting at 85%, 11 from 13, but it's been around the little errors, the contact penalties, the fumbles. There's a couple of missed shots under the post as well, and that is another brilliant ball. The vision is long and it's accurate and kept out of the air, which is key, isn't it, really?
Yeah, the ball speed there beats the player and just finds Steph in the perfect position under the post. One thing for the Firebirds, they're just not able to capitalise when they've done something well. So they have a great intercept, and that's the shot they miss. So it really hurts. see the ball go out of court there, so they have to set up again.
Well, talk a bit more about that. You're a defender. You work your butt off to get ball back. It's not something that comes freely, so that would kill you.
Absolutely. When you work so hard to turn the ball over, it can be 2 or 3 plays where you built the pressure, where you finally get the rewards, and you're looking for your shooters, as Mia Stour did there, finish off. You're looking for them to reward you with the goal, and it's just not happening for the Firebirds at the moment.
10 the difference. It was 7 at quarter time. So Sunshine Coast Lightning, well, it's 4-1 now in this quarter. They're still in control, and that again just looked a bit too easy, didn't it, for Cara Conan? Wonder what's going through the mind of the head coach there, Rebecca Bully. Does she make some more changes? Does she call a timeout? How big does she let this gap get before she does something about it? That is a brilliant take from Danelle Wallam, and my gosh, we've seen her stand up in some key moments in her debut season, haven't we? So we know it's in there. We know she can do that.
Absolutely. She's building and obviously stepping up into the experienced shooter role. She's going to have to carry the youth of Mia in front of her, and that's something extra that she probably hasn't had before. So it's going to take some time for her to settle in.
Easy dish off between Wood and Conan. Yeah, not forgetting if they do make a change in that circle, it's Emily Moore, so it's even more inexperience, isn't it, for the Queensland Firebirds. Stour, though, happy to go herself now. I like that. I like to see her demanding the ball. Still 100% shooting for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Just saw that graphic come up.
It's definitely the area of Conan and Wood leading in the miss and net points that are really hurting the Firebirds. They're scoring easily, and as we see Steph on the baseline waving her arms around, she's just got too much space. And when you've got space in goal attack, you've got time to make good decisions and deliver great ball like that.
But it also gets your tail up, doesn't it? You can't tell me she's not getting more and more confident. There's those miss and net points that you spoke about. 62 points already for Wood. We're not even at half-time yet. That's some impressive numbers.
Huge numbers there. She's absolutely dominating this goal attack position. And that one there didn't come off for her. The first time we've seen probably a mistake from Steph tonight.
Well, there you go, everyone. She's not superhuman. A couple of flaws. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. Probably not far enough in front for Cara Conan. So big turnover for the Queensland Firebirds. Oh, and straight back to them through the experience of Carla Pretorius. Down court, no defensive pressure here at all from the Queensland Firebirds.
Inside.
We talk about turnovers in a game, and if you're winning and you're feeling good, it sits at 10 for the game. Already the Firebirds and the Lightning too, for that matter, though, sitting pretty high. And you can see Steph Wood there just in the back of play.
Timeout, Lightning.
Calling for a timeout. So they are in a brilliant position here, up by 2, but an HCF tactical timeout being called nonetheless to the Sunshine Coast Lightning. I'm intrigued as to what this huddle is going to be all about. See if we can get down there and pick up exactly what it is that Steph Wood wants a break for.
While we're ticking the scoreboard over, our skill is still not there where it needs to be. We need to punish here. We need to run things around, look down the court. If you're not used, get out. In our mids, we're kind of fluffing and dancing now. Let's make sure we make definite movements, yes? In defence, too easy off of their back line. We need to all transition. Yeah? We are going, we're playing direct netball. Kazi, Steph, this month. Stay direct until the 2-point period, right? Yep. So we're going gear 4 now. And a 2 to come out of here on defence. All right? Hey, if we're dancing that middle channel, that's when we really need to get out because someone's waiting for us. Okay. Clear the transverse line. Yeah. Let's go. Lightning.
Well, we haven't heard a whole heap from Belinda Reynolds, have we, the new head coach for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, but plenty of shot talk. And by that, I mean plays, talking numbers, talking what they want out of defence and out of attack. So it's a very well-drilled side and they're under no illusion now of what she wants from them, Kira.
Direct messaging from Coach Belinda Reynolds. The word that stood out for me was punish.
Yeah.
She wants to push on. She wants to and expects of her players a top level of intensity for the rest of this quarter.
Well, Cara Conan, again, beautifully steps off the body and then makes her move. So elusive. Well, it was in the air a long time. Dehaney just took the arm, though, didn't she? Let's get down to Sharon Finnan-White, who was in the Firebirds huddle.
Yeah, Kath, Coach Bully was asking her players to stay in front when they're defending. She feels that the Lightning are coming up and screening and getting that front position too easy. Lauren Brown had a word to her mid-court players, asking them to put the ball into the space. Carla Pretorius and Katie Ann Dehaney just getting too much hand to ball at the moment.
Yeah, they have been, and we just saw another fumble previously. Janelle Wallam expecting a call to come from the umpires. It didn't. And just like that, the ball is in hand again with the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They've got themselves out by 13 now, and they're about to make that 14. We're a minute and 44 seconds away from the Power 5. Look at those shooting stats. Now, last week, 51 from 51, her second best outing. And what, she's on her way, isn't she, to another one of those performances?
And she's doing it in all those positions under the post that she likes to be in. She's really owning both sides of the court. I can't see anywhere there where Firebirds defence are dictating where they want Cara to shoot from.
I feel like there's no part of the circle that Cara Conan's not going to dominate from, though, is there? Well, smart work there. Shortening it up a little bit. Dehaney still having a crack at the ball, and she got away with a bit of rough stuff moments ago, so she's not going to pull out of the contest. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. The tip coming after.
I'd love to see Danelle just rip that ball in with two hands. She's going up with one hand, and it's just leaving that open to Dehaney to come through.
Which she's so capable of. We saw that all of last season. And when she gets fired up, Danelle Wallam, ooh, don't stand in her way. Oh, that was a long, long time before it was released out of the hands of Miller, but gets to the end target. 27 seconds away from the Power 5, and really, the Firebirds' hand has been forced, and it's another coach killer, a stepping call. So it's those little mistakes, Kira, that really are starting to mount.
Well, we talked about turnovers, Kath. The Firebirds had 7 for the first quarter, but the Lightning also had 6, but they've really tightened up, only now sitting on 9, whereas the Firebirds have pushed out to 13.
And the difference, too, is the scoring off the opponent's mistakes, isn't it?
Absolutely. They're scoring 71% off their games, which is a huge number.
We just heard the siren, so we now are in Power 5 time. Sunshine Coast Lightning, no need for them to go for the Suncorp super shots. Not to say they won't, but can still play it around under no sort of real pressure here. Sherian has been rock solid, hasn't she? Always right where you needed to be.
We see the Lightning here taking a quick breath while they get the ball set.
Yeah, there it is. Steph would know she doesn't have to go for the two-pointer, so simple pass off, just keep the scoreboard ticking over. Well, what a second quarter. 4 goals to 13. Have a look at that last 10. There is a whole mess of headaches in there for Rebecca Bully. If this sinks, it's going to make it a little bit more palatable. There it is, the Suncorp super shot from Danelle Wallam. Well, I don't know if that was necessarily a smile on the face of Beck Bully, but it'll make her feel a little better.
They just cannot shut down this shooting combo. They are looking stronger and stronger every minute that goes by during this game.
Good time to remind you and Sharon, you tipped the Firebirds in this contest. Well, Stour in good position here. Can they get another one? Not if Dehaney has anything to say about it. Again, where's the defence?
They're all rushing up court to try and cover off on each other's player, but at the moment, great tip there by Uni. Just unlucky there, United, to not pick up that.
It's a lot of pressure, isn't it, on Uni and also Bakewell Durham when the ball comes down the court that fast.
They really need Danelle and Mia and also Lara Dunkley to put their hands over and stop that ball as it comes out of transition. It's flowing through the midcourt so quickly. Great.
Honestly, I don't think the highlights reel is going to be long enough.
She's running backwards and delivers a feed under the post. That's shooter-to-shooter expertise.
It is a whole show unto itself. And here it is again on the Harvey Norman replay between Wood and Conan. But look at Steph Wood. Straight away calls for the HCF tactical timeout. This side, it just wants to punish, don't they? You heard that word coming from the head coach, Belinda Reynolds, but they just want to keep building and building and building. And I can hear some Velcro being ripped off over there as well. About to see some changes here.
Looks like Conan's going to come out to the goal attack position, and we're going to see Charlie Bell come on for the first time and debut for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. A very exciting time for the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Yes, we're going once in defence. I want us to play a two, but get in front in the D. Yeah, make sure we're front, no second shots, block out. I want you to flood and I want you two busy in this defensive end, yes? First centre pass is coming off the back. We'll talk about their walls holding us. We need to stretch that, but we're coming off the back to start. Let's go. We punish. 10 discipline. Let's go. Discipline, punish. Lining on two. 1, 2, fighting.
Sunshine Coast Lightning in the Battle of the Bruce up by 17, and here comes young Charlie Bell. Was a Queensland Firebird training partner, driven up the Bruce Highway. She was impressive at TGC, and now she gets her moment. Have a look at the height difference between her and Bakel Doran, and she will utilise every single one of those centimetres. But the key here for the Sunshine Coast Lightning is to let her settle and continue to build. Don't expect to be throwing balls in super quickly from distance, Kira.
Yeah, a much different setup for the Sunshine Coast Lightning here. They're going to have to be very disciplined in getting the ball to circle edge to feed into Bell. She's not the player of Conan coming out of the circle, so they're going to have to really post up and see both sides of the court.
Well, there'll be a lot less movement. You can see a win there already. And look how fired up the Queensland Firebirds are. Well, nearly through the hands of Dehaney. Still 17 the difference. Couple of minutes to go. Better defence here from the Queensland Firebirds. Nearly every ball was contested on the way down court. There she is, Charlie Bell. Didn't want to shoot it from distance.
That first feed I thought just could have gone in from Annie Miller. She just hesitated there. I thought it should have gone straight over to Charlie Bell. Great finish there from Carla Conan.
We can see she's a little nervous, can't you? Understandably, it's a big moment. Look at this score breakdown, though. That is alarming for the Queensland Firebirds. 7 the difference in that first quarter. And have a look where it sits now. 6 goals, only 6 goals. Make it 7 now through Wallam, but to 17 for the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
When you're chasing a 4-quarter performance, these are the things that really kill you when you have a lapse of concentration and all of a sudden you've blown out your behind by a further 4 or 5 goals.
Well, and the hardest thing is getting yourself back in the game when the margin is huge by half-time, isn't it? Well, overcooked a couple of feeds, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication in between Miller and Bell. You wouldn't think so. Played together for a while. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. Just through the fingertips. So an opportunity here for the Queensland Firebirds, and it's brief.
It's all gone wrong there for the Firebirds. 2 of their most experienced players just running out of space on the court. A wonderful defensive pressure from the Lightning.
So it's a different game now for Cara Conan, isn't it? She fills the role of Steph Wood, and that is a good one over the top to Bell. The first shot of her career is a good one. What a moment for her. Well, smart penalty probably from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Have they done enough to delay? Well, it's going to have to be a Suncorp super shot here from Danelle Wallam. The pressure. Can't get it to fall. And there it is at halftime, 21 to 39. So some work to do in this second half for the Queensland Firebirds. They've got a good break here. They'll head back to the change rooms with their head coach, Rebecca Bully. Plenty to talk about. May see some changes when they come back out. Well, the confidence, though, in contrast from the Sunshine Coast Lightning, making changes already in this game and bringing on a debutant too. They're feeling good. Let's get down courtside to Sharon Finn-White.
Thanks, Kath. I have wing defence for Lightning, Mahalia Cassidy here. Mahalia, fantastic start from your team, particularly you shutting down the attack line. What do you need to do to keep this momentum?
Yeah, we're really pleased with that first half. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, but keep taking it on. We can't relax now. We just got to keep pushing all the way for fourth quarters.
Good that you've got an opportunity to bring Charlie Bell onto the court.
Yeah, it was so fantastic to see her debut. She's so strong and such a big aim for us at the back, so it was really nice to see her come out and play well.
Awesome. Well, all the best for the second half.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to Mahalia Cassidy, Sharon Finn-White. Well, let's have a look at the stats for the first half of this game, and we saw a couple of them throughout. A couple that caught our attention were the turnovers, but also the penalties, Kira.
Huge amount of penalties against the Firebirds, but the one thing that stands out, you would see it straight away there, the shooting accuracy for the Firebirds. You can't win a netball match if you're sitting at that level of shooting percentage. So 67 comparatively to 100% for the Lightning. They have not missed.
No, it is a tough one to come back from, isn't it? The halftime show is, of course, coming up right after this. And straight after this game, it is going to be a belter. We're heading to Adelaide, and it's the Adelaide Thunderbirds up against the New South Wales Swifts. Adelaide Thunderbirds feeling plenty of confidence from their big win last week. Can they do it again? Well, don't go anywhere. You'll find out shortly. What a first half it has been of this battle of the Bruce between the Queensland Firebirds and the Sunshine Coast Lightning. It has been fast-paced, it has been physical, and at the moment the Sunshine Coast Lightning are in complete control. The score 39-21. Can you believe it? Up by 18 goals after just 30 minutes of netball. There is the Queensland Firebirds change room. Kira Tromp and Sharon Finn-White back with me. What do you think? It looks a little solemn, doesn't it? Doesn't look like there's a whole heap of energy in there. What do you think the instruction will be?
A little bit of shock, I think, for the Firebirds. I mean, they started the game strongly and were only 2 or so goals behind, but the start of that second quarter, they played almost 10 minutes and had only scored 4 goals. And at this level, you just can't continue to keep up with the opposition only scoring at that rate.
Yep.
Yeah, just the 4 goals, and you think about the likes of a Danelle Wallam in there. They need to get more. They've got to get ball to her safely, don't they? Down the other end, if we talk about the Sunshine Coast Lightning shooting circle, no such drama. We mentioned them before the game. Cara Conan and Steph Wood have had the ball on the string. They've looked almost undefended for this first half. And have a look at those shooting stats. Very, very hard to beat a team sitting at 100%, Sharon.
Yeah, you're right, Kath. You can't ask for much more than that. 100% for both of your shooters. But for me, it's just the speed of the ball, how quick that ball is coming into the circle. The Firebirds defenders just don't have enough time because that's coming in. The timing is there. And the shooter to shooter is just too quick.
It is too quick, really hard to stop, isn't it? And as I said before, they just complement each other so beautifully. Generally quite balanced in terms of number of shots, not seeing that tonight. So let me ask you this. Do you think that's why we've seen that change up? They've got themselves a good buffer. Charlie Bell, the rookie on debut, being brought into the mix. What did you make of that change?
What a wonderful situation for the coach, Belinda Reynolds, to be able to bring her player out when there's not the pressure of the scoreboard and let her out on court to be able to play, put up her first shot and have the security of a Diamonds player in front of her, Cara Conan. There's no better way to debut for a shooter.
You're so right. You don't often get yourself in a position where you can just get your rookies on into it. Battle of the Queensland Cup as well. So that is impressive to see from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. If you think about the Firebirds now, not only have they had to deal with Wood and Conan, now the height, the stature, the accuracy of a Charlie Bell. What do the defenders for the Queensland Firebirds need to do? We've already seen one change up.
Yeah, you're right, Kath. The height of the shooters in the circle, having two talls in Conan and Bell, is just going to make that challenge even more difficult for the Firebirds defenders. You know, it's not like they don't have the elevation. They've been able to get up high enough. For me, I think it's just the timing of their jump. I think that they need to get their feet back up and under to contest that ball. But, you know, they're not far off it. It's just really getting their timing and probably just communicating a little bit better in the circle.
And as you've said a few times in commentary, Kira, it is about the conversion as well. And we've seen plenty of good tips and touches coming from the Firebirds, but getting it down to the other end of the court and scoring off it safely seems to be an issue at the moment. The Queensland Cup, there it is. That's on offer for the very first time in this Battle of the Bruce. And at the moment, one hand securely on it for the Sunshine Coast Lightning side. And I know they're going to want to push on in that second half. Annie Miller for the mid-court in the Lightning has been impressive as well. We talk about what's happening in the circle, but the ball has to be delivered there, and she has been on song.
Big piece of the puzzle for the Lightning is Annie Miller. She stepped into the wing attack role. We do remember last year that they went through a few different wing attacks, and she seems to have settled there. She gets ball to edge, and she seems to be able to find her shooters. There was a disconnect between her and Charlie Bell. I just think she wasn't letting the ball go early enough to Charlie, but she's finding circle edge, centre pass receives are well up, and goal assists. She's doing a great job just being there and available for her shooters.
Yeah, hard to believe, looking at the form of this Sunshine Coast Lightning team, that they came last in season 2022. Quite amazing, isn't it? Well, you can clearly see the passion out on court with these athletes tonight, but we want to know, why is netball important to you and what does the game mean to you? Brought to you by Suncorp, we'd like you to submit your entry in 50 words or less, along with a video or image of you and your club to foxsports.com.au/Suncorp, or scan the QR code for your chance to win a family membership to your Suncorp Super Netball Club of your choice in 2024. How amazing would that be? Get those entries in. Well, there she is, Lara Dunkley too, and we've certainly got a big half of netball to come, but don't forget, straight after the Thunderbirds and the Swifts match, you'll have your chance to hear a little bit more from Lara Dunkley. You've seen her on court already. Later she'll be sitting down off court with her two brothers, Brisbane Lions footballers, Josh and Kyle.
Lara's a bit of a pain sometimes. But
He's just saying that to steer away from him.
Who would clash the most? You and Kyle.
Josh and Lara.
You two now, because they're stuck together. I like having the boys. They might think, no.
Nah, it's good. It is good. We're all reunited in the same city and the lifestyle's awesome. A lot more outdoors, and it's probably what we're used to back on the farm.
Who's the most competitive?
Well, I feel like Kyle could be, because if he loses, he cracks it. I've already beaten Kyle.
Oh, right.
Oh!
Welcome back. There is the captain, Steph Wood. Had a little bit of a rest, but she's back on court to do some more damage. Have a look at those stats, 100% shooting. But here's where I love her. 20 circle feeds. Of those, 16 have been assists, so they have gone direct to the target, sitting at 75 miss and net points, a monster haul for one half of netball. And I feel like there is another 30 minutes of that coming from her. Interesting to note some of the changes out on court though. So Charlie Bell had a brief little run. It's back to Cara Conan and Steph Wood. And then for the Queensland Firebirds,
We've had wholesale changes, Kath, for the Queensland Firebirds. Starting back, we've got Kim Rebellion there in the wing defence, who gets his touch straight away in that defensive position of wing defence. Macy Gardner comes into centre. Emily Moore steps on court into goal attack. Major changes for the Firebirds, but to be expected looking at the scoreboard, they need to make some changes.
yeah, certainly down by a good chunk. Something has got to shift. Gabby Simpson, though, one of the most experienced, currently sitting on the bench. That may not always be the case, but that is a good start for the Queensland Firebirds. The coach likes it. Rebecca Bully fired up. Oh, and another one finding the hand of Wallam. So Gardner straight into the action and having immediate impact. And there is Simpson. Very happy with that, sitting next to Carmo. They've got a decent margin. They've got to try and pull back here.
Really good cover there by the Queensland Firebirds defence. They forced the ball back there for the Lightning. Much better.
Well, they just couldn't stop this Lightning attack line, could they? So the change has been made. And what can you know and Bakewell-Doran now do?
Well, they're going to have to change up their game again, having Charlie Bell gone to the bench, and now they're up against this Diamonds shooting combo. They're going to have their eyes up, ready.
Wood straight to Conan and back to Wood. Well, how many times have we seen that quick little double play? There it is one more time. Just a natural understanding, isn't it? Cara Conan, the first miss of the game, but gets her own rebound. So in my book, that doesn't count as a miss.
Noted, Kath. I will say there, just as Sharon said during commentary, Ruby Bakewell-Doran just mistimed her jump on the rebound and missed that rebound under the post. So something not quite going right there with the timing for the Queensland Firebirds in defence.
Yes.
Mara Dunkley, more. Oh, swings it across the circle. Dehaney had a really good look of it. Now we're starting to see some of that strength on the tape from Danielle Wallen that you were talking about a little bit earlier. She used her body to fend off defence then. And the challenge coming down the other end as well. So they look like they've picked it up a little bit, both ends here, the Queensland Firebirds. Might be a little storm. Then the Lightning's got to weather. Well, they've got to keep possession first. A massive win for Ruby Bakewell-Doran here. As we mentioned, though, at halftime, the issue has been scoring off it.
Go in, goal third.
The Harvey Norman replay there shows getting up in elevation there from Ruby Bakewell-Doran to pick up that ball for the Firebirds. Just what they need.
Well, let's get courtside now and speak to the head coach for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, Belinda Reynolds. Belinda, welcome to SSN head coaching. Looks like you're in the business of just demoralising your opponents at the moment. You've got to be pretty happy with this start.
Oh, yeah, definitely happy with this start. I'm mostly happy about each of the girls knowing their role for the team and really sticking to that game day. It's been very apparent both the first two games.
Belinda, you've asked from your team to be really disciplined in defence, and today we've seen a really strong work ethic from your attackers, but the defenders haven't been turning over that much ball. In this second half, what are you asking of your defenders to lift that sort of intercept and deflection number?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just that hard one-on-one defence and really getting in the contest by really winning the dead ball time and getting their Firebirds in uncomfortable positions, and then we can come through with the first ball contest.
Quick tinker with Charlie Bell in at goals. What did you want to see from her in that moment?
Oh, yeah, obviously Charlie changes up our game plan as a real strong target in there. There was a few nerves early, but we're looking to try and inject her again. So we'll just settle here and then see if we can inject her later on in the game.
All right, we'll leave you to it. Thanks so much for your time, Belinda.
Thanks, Kath. Bye.
Well, there you go. Maybe putting it back out on court. So keep an eye on that. At the moment, I feel like the Lightning will just be happy to weather this storm coming from the Firebirds. And another, so all the little errors now starting to creep into the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Is that the pressure they're now finding themselves under, Kira?
I think the Firebirds have really lifted their intensity in their full court defence. We've seen Kim Rebellion there streaming down court with the play, and that's the first time we've seen the Firebirds really let go with ball speed. And wasn't it good to see? They've really lifted that intensity on the Harvey Norman replay. We see the ball go down court with such speed, and that's how you beat defenders. You know, you get that ball moving.
Well, they've got themselves in a very nice position to open this second half. Now winning this quarter 6-3. It's the first quarter they've actually been in any sort of control. So it's now about putting the foot down for the Queensland Firebirds. It was their second half last week that let them down. It's got to be a bit of a role reversal today. Conan continues on a merry way, though. Massive numbers, 36 from 37. Bakewell-Doran, Unite. Oh, didn't quite have it in the hand. She looked at the umpire for the appeal.
It's stringing together those two goals in a row, isn't it, Kath? They're getting the turnover and scoring, but then scoring off your own centre pass. And at the moment, the Firebirds just aren't able to do that, even though here they've turned the ball back over. It's a hard way to get to goal.
Honestly, the spark between Just Gardner and Rebellion themselves in the different positions that they've now found themselves on court is making all the difference. Plenty of attention being shown to Wallam. Can't pull it in.
There's a real spark about Macy Gardner when she takes the court. She's a real impact player. She hits the ball and she hits the player with intensity, and you can certainly tell that she's out there to win.
Look at that. You talked about it, the spark she brought the Harvey Norman replay, and there's the fumble after a pretty heavy contact on Danelle Wallam. Steph Wood would dearly love to sink that. Well, it's another tip over the shot. They've been disrupted, haven't they?
They've really lifted their work rate, the Firebirds. I love to see Ruby Bakewell doing. She's really working hard on the one-on-one here. You see her starting position in front. She's not letting Cara Conan have it all her own way. Here's where she needs to hold her out.
Look at those general play turnovers evened out, haven't they, since the start of this second half. Goals from turnovers, though, still in favour of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Their conversion has been strong. That is a tough shot to make. Steph Wood, though, she can make it.
Great wing defence, centre third.
17 the difference it was. 18 at half-time. For Dehaney.
Close attention there from Dehaney over the top of Wallam.
It's not even getting the ball, is it? It's really just the body-on-body work and trying to put Wallam off that way, but she's having some big wins so far. Oh, Bakewell doing down the other end. Not only does she get up, but she keeps control of the ball. Not an easy thing to do. Well, that was a moment the captain probably needed just to cool the jets a little. But you can see how fired up Rebellion is.
Further over players in the centre of the court.
Sharon Finnan, into the mix and having a bit of impact on Steph Wood.
Yeah, Kath, I'm absolutely impressed with what she's been able to do. Like, she's actually making Steph Wood work hard. I think it's the first time we've seen Steph have to work hard. So if she continues to do that and put that pressure on, and we can see what's already happened with the scoreline and the Firebirds getting that momentum. So, she's doing a fantastic job on Wood.
Even just that shot of Steph Wood, you can see the heavy breathing. Certainly had to lift her work rate, particularly trying to pull in passes like that. Well, this is a true test now for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. The wheels look like they're falling off a little bit. Can they regather? Get themselves back into that flow they had and not let the Firebirds back into the contest. In contrast, the Firebirds really want to put the foot down here, don't they?
It looks as though the Lightning are trying to play like the Firebirds and not controlling and closing it down and really being disciplined in the way they work the ball to the post. The Firebirds are the ones that need to rush and they need to get the ball down quickly to make up this deficit.
That is a beautiful swing across the circle. I was going to say, Cassidy's good, but I don't know whether she's that good. Offside call. Smart work from Moore, though. She took the drive and then almost just set up a little bit of a screen. Created that space for Wallam. So nice little partnership and some understanding happening between the two. Back to 16. 24 seconds away from the Power 5. Steph Wood found herself undefended for a moment. A little slip outside the circle. Steph Wood, there she is. A little bit of momentum. You can see the slip in the background. Just the one miss for Wood at the moment, sitting at 88%, but still sitting pretty. The Nissan net points. Cara Conan still underneath her, but early on in the game, 3 Firebirds were underneath that. It is now another 2, Sunshine Coast Lightning players. There is the siren for the start of the Power 5. Beautiful work. Quick ball work between the two, and then Wallam opens up. That's another one back for the Queensland Firebirds. 16 the difference. So it's a good start from them, but they have let the Lightning back in the door a little in this quarter. It's now 9-8. in the third quarter.
With the centre.
Low scoring third quarter for sure. The defensive ends have really lifted their intensity to be able to hold this game at such a close, 10 to 8.
Good pass over the top from Steph Wood. Ruby Bakewell-Doran been challenging those the last couple though. So good to see the confidence still there from Steph Wood to put it in.
Run his break when attack.
Rebellion. What a difference she makes bringing the ball out of defence.
Just to be able to sit back as captain and see the work that's going on ahead of her, I think she'll be really relishing this opportunity.
There's your penalties again. Still creeping out for the Queensland Firebirds. More. Oh, her first successful shot. And Dehaney got a good look at it the first time. A little bit too close for the umpire's liking, though. Blink of an eye, Sunshine Coast Lightning down the other end. I tell you what, that ball is pinpoint, isn't it?
She's absolutely a centimetre off Ruby Bakewell-Doran there. Beautiful feed from Annie Miller to Cara Conan under the post.
Well, she keeps that sort of contest. She's going to end up with those in her hand.
She's in the perfect position.
She is. Those passes can't be that pinpoint every single time. So 3 minutes to play in this third quarter. Cara Conan and Steph Wood, neither have attempted a Suncorp super shot yet in this game. Haven't been in the position they've needed to. Janelle Wallen 1 from 4 from the distance. And again, no need to force it. More. There's those stats, some big numbers, solid numbers coming from Cara Conan again this week.
Contact, wings and a third.
Centred to Dunkley. Long shot, Moore. This will bring the crowd alive if she can sink it, and she does. A Suncorp super shot right when the Queensland Firebirds need one.
Queensland Firebirds running the wall defence there. You can see them sitting across the transverse line. The challenge for the Firebirds after the wall defence is then to sag back and find their players and not give them too much space.
That's a tough one if you're beaten on the first phase, isn't it? Steph Wood, there it is, a Suncorp super shot for her, the first for Wood, the first for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. You do not want to let her get a hot hand from that distance, given this margin.
Stretch and goal attack, advantage offside.
Dunkley looks long, the vision is good.
In the 2.
Moore, another shot at it, and it dribbles in again. So 2 Suncorp super shots to Emily Moore. Good little ignition since she's come on, and the challenges continue to come up the other end defensively. Ash Uni.
Emily Moore's been great for the Firebirds, taking 4 centre pass receives, 3 feeds, 2 super shots successful. A really good start to this quarter from her.
Well, she was injected in the game at halftime last week, and that's when the score started to go the other way. So far, though, she's been rock solid, hasn't she? Another opportunity here for a Suncorp super shot. She's feeling it, so why not? Wallen keeps it alive.
Obstruction wing.
Well, they don't want to stuff around with it too much here, the Queensland Firebirds. Clock counting down. Smart work to centre. Finds Dunkley, then finds Wallen. 20 seconds left to play. There is one of my absolute favourites too, Gretel Buetta. Gosh, she'd be desperately wanting to be out on court, wouldn't she? Cara Conan, another on the board.
We see Shannon Eglin in the background there warming up for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Will be interesting as if whether or not Belinda Reynolds.
Well, there goes the siren, but the contact call has been called, so Danelle Wallen will get another shot at it and sinks it. Makes good right on the siren there. The Queensland Firebirds fought back to take that quarter by 3, but it is the Sunshine Coast Lightning 54-39.
coach of the Brisbane Lions, Chris Fagan, here with me. Chris, great to see you at the netball. How are you enjoying it?
I'm fascinated by it. I can't believe the speed and the agility of the players. I've not actually been to a game of this level of netball live, and the athleticism's really impressive.
Well done on your win last night against the Demons, and I heard there was a little bit of a kerfuffle with the lights going out. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so with about 12 minutes to go in the last quarter, the lights went out at the Gabba, which is a very strange experience. We all had to go into the rooms and wait to see what would happen. We were told that if the lights couldn't come on within an hour, that the game would be over and that we'd win by whatever the margin was at that point in time. But I think they got the lights back on after 45 minutes, so we had to go out and play again, which was a bit bizarre, but it's the way it went.
Well, you got the win anyway in the end, so great to see you here, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Sharon. And, well, Chris Fagan, just reiterating what we already know. How good are netball athletes? Impressive to watch. And we've got one more quarter to watch them in, aren't we? Lucky last 15 minutes of this Battle of the Bruce. The Queensland derby between the Firebirds and the Sunshine Coast Lightning. You can see that score down there if you're just joining us for this fourth quarter. Sunshine Coast Lightning in complete control, but did get challenged in that third quarter from the Queensland Firebirds. And, well, they started positively again. This will be making Rebecca Bully, the coach, very happy.
An 18-15 goal win there to the Firebirds in the third quarter. Very happy, I think, Rebecca Bully, to arrest a bit more of that game to the Firebirds' way. We just keep seeing these misses under the post for Danelle that are really hurting, but she's got that rebound, importantly for the Firebirds.
Oh, that brings it back to 14, the difference. And a direct ball. Whoa, who wants it? It went through about 5 pairs of hands there. I don't even think the umpire was entirely sure which way it came, but Emily Moore will pick it up. Take the throw in. And an easy over the top to Danelle Wallen. She's hard to stop when you get to the circle edge, isn't she?
Yeah, her strength under the post cap is difficult to mark, and I think Katie Dehaney's been doing a good job. But when the ball's perfect, it's just so hard to get a hand on.
Well, Unai a long way from home here, penalised way outside the circle, so the Lightning will look fairly direct, won't they? And they do. Steph Wood, definitely not the same sort of flow between these two as there was in that opening half.
The introduction of Unai has really helped the Firebirds just control that ball that was flying down in the first quarter.
Absolutely, the defensive efforts out the front from Ravalian, though, and also Maisie Gardner.
Offense contact. Yes, where you are.
Steph Wood can shoot from here, not power time, but she's going to back herself in anyway, so that's just her second miss for the game. And another opportunity here for the Queensland Firebirds. Unite, Ravalian, long ball finds Dunkley, back to Ravalian on the line. Look at the difference in the Nissan net points too, probably not surprising given the scoreline, but 4:04 for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. We've seen Steph Wood and Cara Conan sitting at the top of those Nissan net points most of the game. Another win defensively. Breaking news, whilst we've got you out of Adelaide, there's been reports of some issues with the court, so there may be some delays in the next game between the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the New South Wales Swifts. We will, of course, keep you posted. Wood, Conan, back to Sherry. Well, she almost just went to turn around and get on with it. Face to face with Gardner.
Head and shoulders around, straight into the arm of Macy Gardner there. A great feed and a take by Cara Conan.
There it is again on the Harvey Norman replay. Straight into the brick wall of Gardner. Tough cookie though, Sherian. Back up and into the action. Just a moment to wipe the floor from that body. The players will be quite happy with that, I think. It's been a pretty frantic second half, hasn't it? Queensland Firebirds in control of this one as well. This quarter, leading 2-0. definitely finding Janelle Wallen with a little bit more ease, aren't they, the Queensland Firebirds?
Definitely pulling the ball in stronger this second half. I think words may have been spoken during that halftime break just about, you know, that intensity in terms of ripping the ball in and not relying on the umpire. Sometimes as a shooter, you're expecting the call and you're not getting it. You just need to react to what's in front of you and really own that possession.
That is a big rookie error, isn't it? You learn that pretty quickly when you start to play at this level, that you don't wait for calls, ever. Sharon Finnan, we've just been talking up Macy Gardner and how good a change that's been. Do you agree?
Absolutely, Kath. What a player to come on, and hasn't she made an impact? She's just the speed. What I'm loving is her quick turn and release of the ball into Wallen. I think that's something that's been missing. She's got that's been missing. She's really got that confidence to just turn and let the ball go.
Couldn't agree more. And this looks a little sharper from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Steph Wood, waiting for Conan to free herself. She does now. Conan under all sorts of pressure from Bakewell Doran in this second half. There's a brains trust for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Steph Wood. Keep an eye on Bakewell Doran. Right about that time. It's almost like I knew that was coming. But the defensive work she's doing on Cara Conan when she's outside the circle, there it is on the Harvey Norman replay, up strong. But we were saying before, why aren't they on the body and trying to stop it getting back in? And she's picked that up in a big way.
Back with her, and I keep going. That's it.
Wow, intercepts 8 in favour of the Queensland Firebirds. So we mentioned they were getting ball back, but the issue was scoring off it. Still 14 the difference here. Plenty of speed down this attack line now for the Queensland Firebirds. Dunkley, Gardner. And there's that feed that Sharon Finnan White was just talking about over the top to Janelle Wallen. Rebecca Bully likes it. Easy pickings for Bakewell Doran, but she had to be in the right place to do it, didn't she? Lesson learnt, Steph Wood.
The challenge now for the Firebirds, Kath, is to get this ball down and reward the work that Ruby Bakewell Doran has just done.
Question for you, Kira Tromp. Can they take the game from here?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's time on the score. We know that they can go to the two-point shot when the time comes, but they need to have more of that from Ruby Bakewell Doran, being in positions to be able to take great intercepts. Her dead ball work, the work she's doing while the ball's down the other end, is so important to wear down the shooters of the Lightning.
They've got it back to 12. What they've got to do now in this regular time, 3 and a bit minutes left of that, is to continue to chip away, continue to score, and then they're really going to have to start going for those Suncorp super shots into the power 5 time. But given that power 5 time, nothing is out of the question anymore, is it?
That is contact, all attack.
11 the difference.
The defensive work of Macy Gardner and Kim Rebellion has really created these turnovers for Ruby and the back and Ash Uni. They're working so hard physically on these two attacking players as we see another ball almost go out of court there, just wearing down those attacking players, and we're starting to see mistakes in the feeds.
With the goal attack. Keep our contact.
Yeah, lots of push and shove happening too now in the circle. That wasn't happening in the first half because they just weren't close enough to do it, the Queensland Firebirds. Have a look at these miss and net points, Kira Tromp. Bakewell Doran shot to the top of the list, and she was being beaten by her direct opponent in the first half, Steph Wood, for the majority of the game. What a turnaround.
All class, Ruby Bakewell Doran. She's just taken intercepts. She's been able to have hands on ball and intercept and pick up and follow through, which, you know, as a goalkeeper, that's what you need to do to get your team back on the scoreboard.
And let's not forget a World Cup in July in the squad, playing on the best shooting combination is in the business and having some impact. Stacey Marankovic probably got her eye on this.
Beautiful work there from the Firebirds. A triangle there they set up. Emily Moore has made a huge difference coming into the goal attack position.
Still 11 the difference, so they need some more defensive magic here, the Queensland Firebirds. Who's going to get it for them? Here's your score breakdown, and that second half looking far more positive for the Queensland Firebirds. Just the 7 scored in that second quarter was really where it hurt them the most. Back to 12, a minute and 20 away from the Power 5. We saw Moore nail a couple of those in that third quarter. Is she going to be the go-to?
Great defence there by Carla Pretorius. Unlucky, I thought she used her outside arm there beautifully. We haven't spoken of her much tonight, but obviously looking at the scoreboard, she's done her job. Her team's in front, and, you know, we're used to seeing her get up and take specking intercepts, but she's really worn down her player, and having her sent to the bench and then going on Emily Moore is a real feather in her cap as a goal defence.
There's the Harvey Norman replay. Pretorius, the one you spoke about, did look like she went cleanly with that outside arm. Yeah, better set up there for Cara Conan. Oh, that one dribbles into. Little smile on the face. Still a nice healthy buffer at this stage, but I wouldn't be feeling comfortable just yet if I was the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Over the top, another one to Wallop.
It's getting bottled up here in this corner of the court as we see a beautiful feed from Sherian from the top of this goal circle down to goal third, down to Conan. Beautiful finish there.
Just heard the siren in the background. That is the start of the Power 5. So if you're new to the game, every shot taken within that white arc in the goal circle is worth 2. Queensland Firebirds, well, yes, they're looking for it. They know the pressure now on Emily Moore to shoot the game out.
Now, one of the coaching points from last week from Belinda Reynolds was no 2 shots on the super shot, so she won't be happy that they gave away a second shot there for an obstruction.
Wallam fancies herself from there as well, but Moore picks up the crumbs.
We see Wallam pump the arms up. She's really into this now.
That has been completely missing, hasn't it, this entire game? And I mentioned before, when Wallam fires up, she's dangerous, so good to see that spark. All the way back to the line. Sherian to Wood. Back to Sherian.
They double back here on Conan with smart work.
Yeah, extra smart. The patience too coming from Steph Wood. So they keep that 13 or 12 goal buffer.
Great tip there by Katie Dehaney, getting her hand around there. She's been quiet in comparison to her game last week, but she's done her job. She's stepped up.
Probably hard to not be quiet in the shadow of her game last week. It was her career best.
Absolutely.
She's been enough of a pest, though, in that first half to rock the ship a little bit for the Queensland Firebirds, hasn't she?
Absolutely was dictating on all terms down there in the first half. It was creating havoc for the shooters for the Queensland Firebirds.
Yeah, hell ball. So it's another win for the Queensland Firebirds. They're storming home here. 13-9 in this final quarter. And surely this will make it 14-9, and they've got the centre pass to follow here. Look at Lauren Brown, the new assistant coach for the Firebirds, sitting next to Rebecca Bully.
You have to ask, though, Kath, where was this in the first half? This is what's disappointing for the Firebirds and their fans. They really want this consistency. They know how good their team is. And as we see the shot just not fall in there for Emily Moore, which is disappointing, but they get the call. Another thing that Belinda Reynolds won't be happy with, we see Ash Irvine in the box. She may be coming on here for her debut for the Queensland Firebirds. In the background there, she comes off to Haney.
9 the difference. Have a look at that last 10. That's the first time we've seen the Queensland Firebirds really taking any sort of control. The last 3 in a row. And now it is money time, isn't it?
Irvine, her first pass in SSN Netball.
Oh, that is an easy one. Easy pickings for Ash Unite. Now, though, down the court, it's got to be scored off. Ideally, it is a Suncorp super shot for the Queensland Firebirds. What can they muster?
The tired pass there from Laura Sherry, and she knew it as soon as she let it go.
Over the top to Wallam. She's happy to take it. Got to sink it, though. of a massive rebound and a timely one. Surely the clock is now going to beat the Queensland Firebirds. Here's the Harvey Norman replay and a massive get from Ash Unite. A big stack in the middle there too between Carla Pretorius and Lara Dunkley.
Well done. Can we have a mark, please?
Both a little slow to get up, understandably. It's been a torrid second half. Here it is, Dunkley taking the ball with just a slip from Pretorius.
Just took the feet out from under Lara Dunkley there. There's nowhere for her to go.
Ended up being a chair, didn't she? 1:25 left.
Contact from defence.
In this Queensland derby, Dunkley, surely she's going to look direct. Well, the offensive rebound couldn't have come at a worse time for the Queensland Firebirds. Sunshine Coast Lightning need to just be smart here. They may look to use a little bit of the clock up. Yeah, don't look like they're necessarily in a huge hurry, are they?
Around the waist.
Great hands there by Macy Gardner. Feeds found its way into Cara Conan.
Cara Conan easily could have shot that. Using up the clock beautifully though here. Another one on, it's 9 the difference. And surely that secured the win for them, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. The centre pass to follow, and again, they're probably going to take their time a little here.
You can feel that the Firebirds have taken their foot off the pedal and the Lightning have gone back to their, direct play down the court.
Well, as you mentioned before, they've gone back to Lightning's pace of the game, haven't they? They got caught up momentarily trying to play the Firebirds' pace of the game. 10 the difference. 13 seconds left, the Battle of the Bruce, and it looks like it's going all the way up the Bruce Highway to the Sunshine Coast.
Bring it into the circle in the two. Inside, players, centres out, that's a caution.
This will be the last shot of the game. No. Well, luckily the contact call came. Using up every second of the clock. There is the final whistle. And Wallum can't make it sing. So the Sunshine Coast Lightning continue on their winning ways. What a start to season 2023. A 10-goal win over the Queensland Firebirds. And Kira, they have got to be wrapped with that, not only to keep the momentum of round one going, but to win the derby is always so sweet, isn't it?
Absolutely. The rivalry here between these two clubs is building, and it was spoken about during the fourth quarter show that, that Queensland Firebirds feel as though the Lightning have stolen some of their players. But from Belinda Reynolds' point of view, she's got Queenslanders out on court, and that's what's important for the growth of the netball in Queensland. So a fantastic show of talent across the court tonight. I thought the Lightning were clinical at times, and it was disappointing, obviously, that the Firebirds couldn't string together the consistent performance that we know that they had.
Yeah, they'll be bitterly disappointed with that 10-goal loss, won't they? But they've got to be happy with that second half. They won the second half by 8 and certainly showed what they're capable of at home in front of their home crowd. Let's get down now, though, to Sharon Finnan-White.
Thanks, Kath. Well, Steph, congratulations on the win, firstly, and secondly on the player of the match. What were you happy with today? It was a fantastic performance from your team.
Probably the first half, I think you could definitely say. To be up by 18 was great, but probably a bit to look at in that second half. Firebirds really came out and contested first ball, and I think we lost our movement and attack. So we look at that, but round two, I'm really pleased at where we're at, following what we did in round one.
You must be happy, though, that you were in a position to be able to bring Charlie Bell on and give her some court time.
Absolutely. Charlie's been killing it at training, and even Ash in the last to get her debut and at SSN level. We've got some really exciting young players coming through, and I think it's great. I know we may have stolen them from the Firebirds, but I think it's great that we got two products from Queensland getting out on SSN court.
And just finally, next week, go into round 3, take on the Thunderbirds in Adelaide. What will you take from today's match against them? Is it something totally different that you're going to need to do against the Thunderbirds?
Oh, look, the Thunderbirds, you can definitely got some pretty good defenders in there with the Jamaican duo. So, look, we'll look at it, and we might have to change a little bit about our game, but we're really confident in what our game plan is, and it will beat any team.
Well, awesome. Well, congrats on the win and on your Player of the Match award.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, thank you to both of them. I'll tell you what, I don't want to get excited about next week already, but the Jamaican duo on Steph Wood and Cara Conan cannot wait. Let's get straight back courtside now, though, for the presentation of the first ever Queensland Cup.
Thank you so much for sticking around now. As you know, the Queensland Derby is not just for bragging rights, it's not just for the points on the ladder, but it is also for this fantastic piece of silverware that you can see right here, and that is the Queensland Cup.
So, without much further ado, we would like to invite the winning captain, Steph Wood, up to collect the trophy on behalf of the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Come on over, Steph.
Firstly, thanks to the crowd for coming out. It's always a little bit of a derby and it's a great crowd to play in front of. Thanks to the Firebirds, I think it's really cool that we now have a Queensland derby and we get to play for this quite large trophy. To the girls, I'm really excited about what we've done so far, and I know it's only round 2, but what we can do for the rest of the season, and we get to take this one home until we meet again up on our home turf.
Congratulations, Steph, that's all yours. And look, you're right. Steph, you can take it now, but as you said, round 14, it will be the Battle of the Bruce Part 2 when we come up to your part of town, and we'll fight for that silverware again. But for today, congratulations, Steph Wood and the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Oh, that's a very happy captain there, isn't it? Steph Wood taking home the very first Queensland Cup. And they'd dearly love to keep that up the sunny coast, wouldn't they? Far away from the Queensland Firebirds down here. They did it in beautiful fashion tonight, taking out a 10-goal win. Let's get to the full-time match stats, though. And we noticed at halftime it was around the shooting stats, wasn't it? There was a big difference. Well, it dropped a little for the Lightning and lifted for the Queensland Firebirds. Have a look at the gains, though. That really was where the game got turned on its head at halftime, Kira.
Absolutely, Kath. That injection of Ruby Baker-Doran back into goalkeeper, along with Kim Ravalian and Ash Unai out in front, really lifted the gain rate. The issue for the Firebirds was that they were running at about a 38% conversion from the game, so they weren't actually able to capitalise on the great work of their defenders.